I'm going to share a pretty interesting secret about criminals that you might not know. And I hate to say that I told you so, but I told you so. And it's also why we need more police officers patrolling the streets. Listen, this might shock you a bit, okay? You might want to sit down for this, but just hear me out. Hardcore criminals who don't care about the laws or follow any laws, they also don't follow traffic laws. One of the dumbest comments somebody left on one of my videos was that firefighters don't drive around looking for fires, so police officers shouldn't be driving around looking for crime. They said it's a form of control and a form of intimidation. And if that's what you really think, give your head a shake. I'm going to read from an article a few days ago. Routine traffic stop leads to arrest of a suspect wanted for double murder. Well, the first thing you need to know about this is not uncommon at all.
The AirGRCMP was conducting routine speed enforcement patrols over on Edmonton Trail Northeast in Airdrie and initiated a traffic stop with a vehicle for speeding as well as illegal window tint.
Caught for excessive speeding and illegally tinted windows. How is that possible? I recently put out 2 videos about excessive speeding and tinted windows, and I was told it's nothing but a waste of time, waste of police resources. It's a money grab, revenue generation. And of course, the always popular, go focus on real crime.
The traffic stop led to a further investigation when there were indications of proceeds of crime that were seen inside of the vehicle that had been stopped.
Okay, so this is getting pretty interesting.
During the arrest, the male passenger exited the vehicle and fled from police on foot. A foot pursuit did ensue, and police successfully apprehended the male suspect.
Now, police can't say who the guy is. They can't say his name because the warrants were from something that happened a while ago when he was still a youth. But he's linked to the shooting deaths of 2 rappers, Javante Smart and Ernest Modekwe from Toronto.
A search incidental to arrest of the male suspect located a loaded .40 caliber firearm on his person. The male presented false identification when asked to identify himself. He was further charged with additional charges out of our point in Airdrie, Alberta, for 5 firearm-related offenses, carrying a concealed weapon, 3 identity fraud charges, possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000, counterfeit money, and 2 counts of resisting arrest, so resist and obstructing a police officer.
Yeah, but what about the speeding and the window tint? Okay, quickly, before I go further, remember what I said about illegal tints. Even if you don't own the vehicle that you're driving with illegally tinted windows, you can still be charged with it. The same with a license plate cover, loud exhaust, you name it. Even if you don't own the vehicle, you as a driver can be charged. Even if you buy it that way, you can still be charged. But back to the arrests there. I mean, what are people thinking sometimes? A lot of criminals, I suppose, are not that smart to begin with, but you would think with all the illegal stuff in the vehicle inside, or if you know you're wanted, if you know there's warrants out for you, you would think that you would be following the rules of the road, driving like my grandma, she's a pretty bad driver. I don't know how many times I've been in my marked police vehicle, minding my own business, in my car, stopped at a light, and I hear some obnoxious loud music, or I hear an engine revving in a quiet area, blowing through a stop sign or a red light, and then I pull them over. And they're suspended drivers, or they have no driver's license, or they're wanted on warrants, or there's things like this inside the vehicle that shouldn't be there. You know how many illegal firearms are seized because of these types of vehicle stops? You would think that if you're in that situation, you'd be driving the speed limit, 2 hands on the steering wheel, not doing anything at all to draw attention to yourself at all. You would think, but they don't think. I don't have the exact numbers or stats that I can quote you, okay? But I'll say this. With complete conviction, it's pretty freaking high. The amount of dangerous offenders or people wanted by police on warrants that police arrest because, again, big surprise, of traffic enforcement. The amount of stolen cars police recover because of traffic enforcement. The amount of weapons that are off the street because of traffic enforcement. Missing people. Cops have pulled people over where the passenger's in danger, a victim, and if the vehicle didn't stop, if the vehicle stop never occurred, something tragic could have taken place. I could go on and on and on. There are tens of thousands of comments on my videos, and that's no exaggeration, telling police to stop pulling people over and concentrate on real police work. Endless comments where people are saying that police, they won't do anything about the record number of stolen vehicles these days, but they have the time to drive around and look for people breaking traffic laws. Unless the police are conducting traffic enforcement or random checks, how do you think these vehicles are supposed to be found? There's not a sign on top of the car driving around saying that they're stolen. And it's not like the movies where they're jumping over loading bays trying to get away. Besides special projects and gathering intelligence to prevent the thefts from happening in the first place, of course, which police are doing, and they're doing a great job at that. Arrests are being made. You can see the articles. But besides that, many of the stolen vehicles are found because of traffic enforcement. Sometimes just random vehicle checks while the cops are on patrol. Maybe someone didn't follow a traffic law. They drew attention to themselves and end up with a very effective vehicle stop. Now, we all know that it seems like there's no punishment when they are caught because we have a weak legal system, let's face it, and it seems to punish the victim often more than the accused at times. But police are doing their best. We need laws and a government with a tough on crime mandate to make the changes. That's a whole other topic once again. A cop could be driving right beside a stolen vehicle and not even know unless they run their plate, on their computer, their license plate, and it could be random. They could look over at the people who stole it, give them a nod, say hi. Absolute true story about a stolen vehicle with a bunch of property, okay? I was with my partner. I was a passenger. We were driving the old Crown Vic, and I was just running plates. Really, it was a quiet day, and I was running plates. And I ran a plate for some reason of the type of vehicle that is never normally stolen. We were right behind this vehicle for about a block. Ran the plate, came back as stolen. Check it out. Again, came back as stolen, confirmed with the dispatcher. This person kind of knew what we were up to by the second time I called the dispatcher, so they pulled into the parking lot. Eglinton Square, you might know the place, just in Toronto, in Scarborough, Eglinton Square, and the driver and the passenger took off. So the vehicle was stolen. I can't get into details. There's only certain things I can share. The vehicle was stolen, but it was packed with electronics, tens of thousands of dollars of electronics that were also stolen inside the vehicle. Anyway, from a random check, we were actually driving behind this vehicle for a while. They weren't doing anything suspicious. They were driving, following every law. You want to know what I would do when I was stopped at a red light? Again, in my police vehicle, working in full uniform, I would roll my window down a little bit. Because if you're stopped there, the cars are going the other way and you're waiting. As soon as a light turns yellow, you can often hear it yourself too, a vehicle rev its engine because they want to beat the light. So you just look at the light, it turns red. That person who's brought attention to themselves by revving her engine, trying to beat the light. You look, it was light turned red. They're on the other side of the white line. And there you go. There's a red light ticket. It's actually that easy. You can do it yourself. You don't have to be a police officer. Next time you're stopped at a light, just listen. You'll see it. It's a little bit more difficult now. Basically, they have the SUVs, and the SUVs sit up higher, and you can see the police vehicles better. You can see the lights on top. So it's a little harder for the police officers now with the SUVs. Traffic enforcement, it's not the only way. That's not what I'm saying, but it's one way. It's very important, and it's part of a police officer's job. Nobody likes getting pulled over. Nobody also likes that moron out there cutting people off, weaving in and out of traffic, speeding on residential streets, running stop signs. Nobody wants that. And unless there's a camera on every block watching your every move, making it a real police state, then for now, we have traffic enforcement. Some cops, they're in full-time traffic enforcement. That's their position. Or it could happen in between radio calls when police are on general patrol, if it's a quiet day. And it's not always an easy go. I love it when they, more so in the States, when they release dash cam footage and you can see how disrespectful some people can be and how entitled some people are at these traffic stops. Traffic enforcement officers, it's a tough go at times. And again, it's a very important part of policing. I always found this interesting though. When a cop is set up doing radar or laser to catch speeders, people will flash their high beams to let everybody else know. There's a mentality that overcomes people to stick together and fight the man. But if they're speeding up and down your street where you live, then you take it personally and you don't like it. And there's never a cop around when you need them. I'd say the majority of people out there, they agree that traffic enforcement is necessary and it's useful, but they just want it to be fair. And that's a completely fair thing to expect from the police. If you do find yourself getting pulled over by police. I made a video of the process, okay? And I kind of walk you through, I answer some questions, why the police are sitting in their car so long, what they can find out about you from the driver or the registered owner of the vehicle. I talk about what's inside the police vehicle. I'm going to link it. It's quite interesting. Basically, I walk you through the process, okay? Listen, if you find my stuff useful or helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It helps get the word out there, and at least I know I'm on the right track. Thank you for watching this video. Be safe out there, look after one another, and perhaps we will see you again.